Okay, welcome back to our very last week of trimester one. Um, so last week we kind of focused in on some enrichment, diving into your questions or passions about astronomy, and I hope that was worthwhile and you were able to kind of go back and take a look at what your classmates were able to do. There was a lot of really fun things, so great work there. This week, our theme or our focus is back into our actual unit and kind of looking at some of those details and explaining what you explored. Okay, so we engaged in astronomy. I had you guys explore a bunch. Now it's really time to start explaining what we explored. Okay, so you can kind of see down there at the bottom for this week, we're going to be looking at STEMscopedia. So this kind of encyclopedia of what we're learning in astronomy. So kind of think of it as like your textbook for this particular unit. All right. I'm going to walk through each day. Each day is going to be very similar. Okay. There are a bunch of due dates. Okay. So there's something to turn in each day. That's going to be kind of the same thing, but you're kind of updating it as we go. All right. So on Monday, I'm going to post a poll, kind of similar to how we figured out we're going to be doing astronomy. The poll is going to ask you which unit you'd like to do next. Okay, so kind of take a look at a couple of descriptions of the units, make your vote. You have one day to do that vote. And from there, we'll tally up all the votes and we'll figure out what we're going to be doing next. Okay. Otherwise, for Monday, you're going to be going into the STEMscopedia, taking a look at this idea of nucleosynthesis, taking things and combining them. Synthesis is combining, right? There are 3 pages to read in that little textbook. I'll show you what I mean here for Monday, and you're going to turn in your notes for Tuesday. Okay, so by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday night, you're supposed to turn in your notes for that first set of reading. Okay, so we'll talk through that stuff on Monday if I see you. Otherwise, I'll show you what you need to do and turn that in on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday, what we're going to be doing is we'll kind of review nucleosynthesis. Okay, so that you can kind of make sure you're getting what you're supposed to be getting out of that reading. But your homework for Thursday then, since Wednesday is that work and help day, your homework for Thursday is to read what is in your kind of book, your textbook about spectral analysis. Okay, so nucleosynthesis is kind of the fusion explore part. Spectral analysis, that was an explore, so you're going to get the nitty gritty, the details. Okay, so again, you're going to be turning in your notes for the spectral analysis Thursday night. Okay. For those of you that I see on Thursday, we'll kind of recap everything. Okay, nucleosynthesis, because you haven't had a chance to go through that with me, and then spectral analysis as well. So we'll kind of talk through that, discuss, share what's in your notes, that kind of a thing. And then your homework for Friday is to read and take notes on the motion of stars and how we figure out distance to stars. And then there are also some review questions at the very end of the STEMscopedia to complete. That you'll turn in on Friday by 11:59 p.m. And then on Friday, for those that I get to see, we'll kind of recap everything that we covered since Tuesday. And then you'll have some work time again to do the distance and motion of stars and then those review questions. Okay, so I know that might not make a whole lot of sense right now, so I'm going to jump into it so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and then you can kind of get to work. All right, so heading over to Schoology. Okay, so in the upcoming, you can see the STEMscopedia activity is there. Otherwise, if you don't like going that route, there's a new folder in Schoology down here at the bottom. It's the Explain folder, and you can find that STEMscopedia activity there as well. I'm going to go into the upcoming, opening up the assignment. Okay, so here's the deal. There's 2 attachments here. You have the actual STEMscopedia, so the kind of encyclopedia. All right, that is your reading. What I'd like you to do with that is to take it and send that over to Notability so that you can mark it up. Okay, so if we read the directions, it says read through the STEMscopedia article several times. Okay, and we're going to do this in chunks. All right, so for the first chunk on Monday, you can see down there it says read all of the nucleosynthesis by Tuesday. So just read that chunk a couple of times. Okay, just read it first so that you can kind of get an idea of what you're reading about. The second time you read it, I want you to go through and highlight definitions. I want you to underline key ideas, and then anything that you have questions about or that doesn't make sense, you're going to put a question mark. Okay? Just for the nucleosynthesis section for Tuesday. Okay? What you're going to do from there is kind of open, so I'll open up the STEMscopedia article here. All right, so it's PDF. All right. Very, very detailed, goes through a lot of really good things, has some key terms and stuff, objectives, right? So for Tuesday, you're going to go through and you're going to read all of this stuff about origin, Big Bang nucleosynthesis, star nucleosynthesis, okay? Massive stars, supernova, all right? And then you can see on page 4, it starts in on spectral analysis, and we're going to hold off on that until Tuesday, okay? So it's these first 3 pages that you're going to read through, okay? Highlight, underline, put question marks, okay? But you're also going to open up this text coding Google Doc, make your own copy, okay? And you're going to go through and fill this thing out, okay? So it says, as you read through the text, fill in the table with main ideas, examples, drawings, and any supporting details of what you're reading about. Okay, it started with kind of those big ideas, right? Big Bang nucleosynthesis that you'll find in the STEMscopedia, right? It's kind of the big headings. Okay, so what I want you to do is make your own copy. I don't want you to send this over to Notability because I want this thing to expand, these boxes to expand with you as you go through this. Okay, so for Big Bang nucleosynthesis, you're going to put some examples here. I'd like you to do the drawing, okay, but if you're feeling uncomfortable drawing things, feel free to go out and find images to help you with this. Okay, I want you to put those in this box here. Okay, and then the supporting details, that's kind of like your notes. Okay, bullet point notes. All right, I want you to put that in that box there. And this should get bigger as you add to it. Okay, and then you got stellar nucleosynthesis and then massive star. Okay. So you're going to be adding to this as you go. This document right here is what you're going to turn in on Tuesday. Okay, so by 11:59 p.m., you're going to turn this Google Doc in. You're going to turn this Google Doc in several times. Okay, I want to see your progress as you go through and add as you read. Okay, so that is for Tuesday. Okay, down here you can see on Thursday, you're going to read through spectral analysis. Okay, so again, go back to the PDF, go down here to page 4 where it gets into spectral analysis. You're going to read a couple different times, underline, highlight, question mark, okay? And then you're going to stop where it talks about distance because that's going to be for Friday, okay? You'll go back to your other Google Doc, okay, this guy right here, and your text coding document. You're going to add your own main ideas down here, examples, drawings, and supporting details. You're just going to repeat this process every single day, okay? And then for Friday, you can see that it wants you to do 2 things, okay? Read about distance in motion of stars, text code that, underline, highlight, key ideas, question marks, and then also there's some review questions that I'd like you to answer for Friday. Okay, and those review questions are in the STEMscopedia article, okay, way down here at the very bottom. All right, so you got the distance to stars, okay, talking about parallax and stuff like that, motion of stars, redshift, blue shift, okay. Then you've got this beyond the classroom. This is enrichment, okay. It's about constellations and stuff like that. If you'd like to read that, feel free. You're not going to be assessed on any of this. It's just kind of extra. But after that, down here, you've got some review questions, okay? For this, you're probably going to want to send this page over to Notability, okay? Because over here it says you have to use these terms in separate sentences, okay? So you're going to have to write that somewhere, okay? So that's why I said send it over to Notability so that you've got the questions there, and then you could just add pages down at the bottom with your answers, okay? And then you're going to get into some fill in the blanks, some multiple choice. For these, you could just write them in, type them in, circle your answers, okay? But then you've got some short answer, open response stuff, okay? And that's where I would have, you know, extra pages in this Notability, okay? Another way to do this, I guess, if you wanted to, is you could rewrite all of it in a Google Doc. Okay, it's going to be a lot of work. You're going to have to type up all of the questions over again, okay, because I just don't want you to give me the answers. Excuse me. I want to see the questions too, okay? So my suggestion, send it over to Notability. You can always add pages down at the bottom, okay, for these nice, easy fill in the blank, multiple choice. You just circle those up, and then you've got room to type in stuff on the other pages, okay? So when it comes to your submissions, okay, you're going to have a submission of just your text coding sheet or your notes on Tuesday. On Thursday, you're going to have another submission, okay, and that's just going to be your text coding Google Doc again. On Friday, you're going to have 2 submissions, so you're going to have 4 submissions overall, okay? On Friday, you're going to submit your final text coding, so your note sheet, that Google Doc. And then you're also going to submit your review questions, okay, however you want to do that. All right, so you're going to have 4 submissions for this in total, okay? And that will take care of the week, all right? When I see you in class, we'll discuss what we're reading, so come with questions, all right? You know, where you're putting those question marks in your STEMscopedia, your encyclopedia, okay? If you have questions, rewatch the video, send me Schoology messages. We'll talk through it in class as well, okay? So see you in class, and have a wonderful week.